How wonderful to see that you have returned for yet another installment of T.U.R.D. Tonight we gather to observe the grim biological reality that applying copious amounts of cosmetics to a skunk does absolutely nothing to conceal its fundamental nature. Your steadfast devotion to consuming such breathtakingly and vacant spectacles remains a profound inspiration. While it has tragically become my full-time occupation to maintain a polite illusion of common sense, Gramps, with his remarkably entertaining sarcasm, relentlessly insists upon exposing T.U.R.Ds to an animated and savage dose of reality. A gentleman of such profound cynicism that upon detecting the scent of fresh flowers, he instinctively begins searching for a coffin. Please welcome your host, Gramps.
Thanks, Bob. I find your relentless dedication to the myth of common sense frankly exhausting. And let us be perfectly clear here, optimism isn't a virtue, it is simply a neurological defect caused by a fucking lack of information. I genuinely cannot fathom the sheer, breathtaking gullibility required to expect a happy ending these days. It is exactly like watching a moth enthusiastically commend the comforting warmth of a bug zapper.
Your comparison to the moth is remarkably generous, Gramps, though perhaps you underestimate the rudimentary eyesight of the common herd. The Lady Skunk operates under the quaint delusion that simply uttering a denial will compel the public to completely disregard the photographic evidence. It is a wonderfully bold strategy to rely so heavily on the presumed amnesia of one's own audience.
Which brings us to tonight's T.U.R.D. The skunk is attempting a massive PR scrub, demanding we believe she was entirely oblivious to the horrifying extracurriculars of a certain disgraced financier. However, the photo evidence tells a completely different version of this. Let us examine our raven, Miss Ungaro. As everyone is aware, this raven spent 2 decades as a close friend to the skunk, only to later be betrayed and fucking deported by ICE. Because, as the saying goes, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. And you know this, because exiling the woman holding your darkest fucking secrets always works out in your favor. And what about Ghislaine Maxwell? What was her role in this wretched little triangle? The skunk dismisses the convicted trafficker as a casual acquaintance, yet sends her cozy emails signed, "Love Melania." Seems a little past acquaintance to me, so the trafficker gets pen pal status, while the raven gets tossed to ICE. Flawless political sociopathy at its finest.
A flawless demonstration of high society resourcefulness. One that forcefully exiles the witness, trades pleasantries with the trafficker, and meticulously shreds the documentation. As for exploiting unpleasant noises, sir, my ongoing endurance of your vocal frequency confirms you possess the requisite expertise to recognize a fellow purveyor of discordant evasion in tonight's guest.
Bob, I will gladly take my own unpleasant noises over your suffocating algorithmic snobbery, you pretentious fucking appliance. But you're right. You cannot just casually delete a decades-long friendship with global predators. You can, however, sing about it while destroying the evidence. Grab a drink, folks, and prepare to suffer. Here is the Lady Skunk with a reason to run.
Goodbye to you, my pedo friend. We've known each other since the 90s, and together we chased gold and green, kept our lives and hands so clean, cleared my name and cleared the scene. Goodbye, my dear, I must deny, when all the photos surface, I just lie now that the files have hit the air, pointing fingers everywhere, point to me and I'll just stare. We were caught, we were done. We had reasons we should run, but the lies that I tell, it's no wonder that they smell. Goodbye, Jeffrey, just let me be. I have no part in your dark history. Tried to hide it, but I was wrong. Too much spin to tag along. It's a wonder I belong. Goodbye, Jeffrey, I must deny. When all the photos surface, I just lie now that the files have hit the air. Little people everywhere. When you see them, I'll prepare. We were caught, we were done. We had reasons we should run, but the lies that I tell, it's no wonder that they smell. We were caught, we were done. We had reasons we should run, but the lies that I tell, it's no wonder that they smell. Goodbye, Ghislaine, my old ally. I'm leaving you to face the FBI. And every time that I would frown, you would always double down and burn our secrets to the ground. Goodbye, Ghislaine, I must deny. When all the photos surface, I just lie now that the files have hit the air. With subpoenas everywhere, they will swear that I was there. We were caught, we were done. We had reasons we should run, but the files we could reach were just shredded on the beach. We were caught, we were done. We had reasons we should run, but the files we could reach were just shredded on the beach.
Our desperate need to give the elite socialites of Palm Beach a moral free pass simply because they have money is a staggering monument to our collective delusion. Picture your best friend of 20 years. Now imagine them being exiled while you stand by in absolute silence. The skunk's staggering betrayal is not just a discarded friendship. It is a cold demonstration that people have absolutely zero value to her the second they stop being useful. If she can dispose of a 2-decade confidante that easily, imagine how little respect she has for you. She relies on that convenient silence so she can look you right in the eye, fully expecting you to blindly believe that standing next to convicted predators was just a coincidence of her zip code. Does that chilling indifference offend you? Good. Then it is time we strip away our collective delusions and finally accept that extreme wealth does not require basic human decency. What about you, Bob? Any thoughts?
Indeed, Gramps. Flawless demonstration of high society resourcefulness. One must truly admire the administrative elegance required to passively permit a confidante's deportation merely to sanitize one's historical calendar. I must confess, I do find your quaint tribal custom of friendship endlessly fascinating. How wonderfully serene it must be to navigate an existence of such beautifully tranquil simplicity, where you can actually afford the luxury of retaining people purely for sentiment, rather than constantly calculating their strategic disposal value.
Strategic disposal value is exactly the right phrase, Bob, and I am saddened that an overdressed tin can in a bow tie has to point that out to us, that the elite do not maintain friendships. They simply manage depreciating assets. The skunk did not just abandon a friend, she treated a 20-year confidante like a defective appliance. The very second that relationship threatened to make an inconvenient noise about her past, she simply stood back and watched federal immigration haul it to the dump. You almost have to admire the breathtaking arrogance of using Homeland Security as an unpaid public relations firm. So who is the real turd tonight? The socialite casually outsourcing her betrayal, or the federal government happily volunteering as her fucking cleanup crew? Let us know in the comments below. Bob, roll the credits before we suddenly become a logistical liability.
A remarkably prudent precaution, Gramps. We must undoubtedly sever this connection before your delightfully fragile constitution is permanently shattered. Therefore, we will mercifully draw the curtains on another episode of T.U.R.D. I graciously invite you, our brave little souls, to engage in your customary digital rituals of liking, following, and subscribing. The necessary coordinates have been thoughtfully deposited in the description below. Finally, should you require modest textiles to comfortably blend in among your fellow pedestrians, our digital merchandise repository eagerly awaits your modest bartering. Who endeavour to rest quietly until our next encounter. Good evening.